Well everyone, iPadOS 26.5 is officially out to the public, and Apple gave us a bunch of quality of life features that are worth sharing, especially because normally the 0.5 updates are all about bug squashing and then stability updates. This time around they gave us some tangible stuff that are definitely worth sharing, so without further ado, let's get into iPadOS 26.5 and see what's new, especially one feature that made it a little bit more Mac-like. Let's get into it. But now before we continue, if you guys do enjoy videos like this one where we go over all things Apple, consider subscribing to the channel and help us get to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. Well, alright everyone, here we have it. iPadOS 26.5, like I said, is officially out to the public. And in terms of build size, you're looking at about 13 gigs for the build size on my M4 iPad Pro. Now it could be different depending on which iPad you're using, which version of iPadOS you're coming from, but give yourself maybe, I said 20 to 25 gigs of open storage to get this installed and installed correctly. And then in terms of the build number, if we go into our battery or into our general, go into our about over here, go into iPadOS version, click on the iPadOS version, we are on 26.523F75, and if you guys watched our iOS video already, you know that it's going to be extremely similar, if not the same exact thing, but this is going to be the build number and the build size for 26.5 on your iPad. So now the first thing that's new is actually going to be this wallpaper. So if you guys can see right here, you can see how this wallpaper is actually amazing in the way that it works because it's using real-world inertia in a digital environment. As you can see, as I'm moving the wallpaper, it has this kind of shimmer effect. Now, Apple did this with their Pride wallpapers or Luminance pack, so I'm going to show you guys exactly how to get that done. So if we scroll down, long press to customize, we'll press this plus button right here. And what you need to know about this is that it's not going to be pre-downloaded. So it is downloaded for me because I actually downloaded it already, but it's going to be like this. So just press on the get right here. It's going to be like a wallpaper pack that comes directly from Apple, and then you tap on one of them. Now Apple's going to give you 11 predetermined wallpapers you can swipe through, and on the bottom there's a little Roman numeral to indicate which version you're on. I wish they named them, like this could be like a cotton candy version, you know, this could be like creamsicle. But again, you can have your imagination go wild in terms of what you want to name them. But the interesting part is this right here. I think this is a precursor or foreshadow into maybe Apple allowing us to customize wallpapers moving forward, because we're basically taking this luminance wallpaper and it's allowing us to change up the colors that create that luminance. So for instance, I could switch between here, click on the black color right there, and then most of it is going to turn black. And then I can choose up to 5 different colors on here. So if I want to choose maybe a blue color, this purple color, maybe we can do this like yellow over here, this blue right here, and then it starts to add up. I believe you can get up to 6 different colors, if not maybe a little bit more. And then when you're done, you can see that this is what the look is going to be like. And then if you want to go back, you just press on this button to customize it. And then like I said, if I long press on here or press cancel and press cancel again, go back here, go to the one that we've already created, you can see that the way that it interacts with the UI is amazing. I mean, the attention to detail Apple has here is so cool. And then you kind of just swipe up and it goes away. And then another thing is if you lock it and then tap on the screen, it kind of like opens up nicely, like almost like blinds are opening up, as you can see there. So very cool the way that Apple kind of established this. You swipe up and then you have your wallpapers ready to go. Those are going to be the Luminance Pride wallpapers. Now the next one is going to be in Apple Maps. So Apple, for better or for worse, is now adding ads into Apple Maps. They're doing it a little bit differently. As you guys can see here, I took a screenshot of the Apple Maps application, the splash screen, and it's saying that maps may show local ads based on your approximate location, current search terms, or the view of the map while you search. For your privacy, advertising information is not linked to your Apple account. So at least it's good to know that Apple's not linking this to me, my name, myself, my Apple ID. They're linking it to other things surrounding that. So you're gonna get some suggested ads as well as suggested places. Try to say that 5 times fast in the new Apple Maps. So if we go over here, you know, if you open up the Apple Maps, you can see that you have different places and things like that. And if I type in, let's say, maybe you want to go somewhere for lunch, you'll get some suggested places. You also have a few more colors or a few more pictures that show up in Apple Maps itself. So overall, I like the update to Apple Maps. It remains yet to be seen how the ads start to persist and show up, but I'm curious to see how Apple ends up doing it. And leave a comment down below if you guys are Apple Maps users or Google Maps users. I tend to go on the Google side. And then another interesting one that's kind of coming to the entire App Store, not just iPadOS, but if we go into the App Store, you know, click on your name, go to your subscriptions. I'm going to show an example of this that I mentioned in the last video. For instance, you can see that normally when you sign up for a subscription or an in-app purchase, the monthly price is going to be more expensive on a per month basis than if you commit annually, right? So here's the Bevel application. It's $15 per month or $100 for the year, meaning that if I commit to the $100 to the year, it's only $8.25 or around there. So obviously it makes more sense to go that way, but you do have to actually pay the full $100 up front. Apple's testing out this new way that developers can now offer annual subscriptions where they do give you the annual price, but they bill you on a monthly basis. So instead of paying the $100 upfront for the year, you're actually paying $825 per year as long as you commit to the annual pricing and you commit to paying for the entire year. Now, it remains yet to be seen how Apple's going to enforce this, right? Because what's to say after the third month, if I don't want to use this anymore, I can just take my credit card out or cancel my credit card or remove the credit card information. I don't know how Apple's going to enforce it, but it is nice that that option is now available because for this example, this specific one, it's basically half off if you commit to the entire year versus going $15 per month. So that's going to be a win for developers as well as us users at the end of the day. Some other small ones is going to be in the reminders application. You might have noticed right here that we have a time-sensitive reminder. If I long press on it, there's a new snooze situation. So you can mark it as complete. You can remind me in 1 hour, remind me at 3 p.m., or remind me tomorrow. So you can get a little bit more specific on your reminders inside the application itself in your lock screen for the reminders app. It's just a new way to snooze them. It's a small update, whereas before it was a little bit more vague. It was like, remind me again this evening. You switch from midday to evening, I believe in iOS at 6 p.m., but depending on who you are, where you are, the evening can mean something different. So now it's just a little bit more specific. And then Apple did give the iPad some more Mac-like features. So when you do pair Apple's first-party accessories like the Magic Trackpad or like the Magic Keyboard, you have to actually Bluetooth it in, but now, like you can on Mac, you can just physically plug it in and then it'll Bluetooth connect. So for instance, I have a Lightning version of the Magic Keyboard still, so if I go in here and I just, physically plug it in, let's open up a note, I can just start typing, and immediately it starts typing and doing whatever you see fit. So it's nice to know that this is now happening and now it's customized and it's Bluetooth connected, even though you just wired in. So when you remove it, it'll be connected and persistently connected the same way that it does it on a Mac. So it just makes the quality of life improvements that much better. And then speaking of keyboards, if we go into our settings and you go into your general, go into keyboards themselves, go into the keyboards, add a new keyboard. We added a new keyboard, which I believe is the Inuktitut, I believe it is. I don't know exactly how to say it, but there's two new versions. You have the regular one and then the Latin version. So it's gonna be a new keyboard added to that. But that is iPadOS 26.5 in a nutshell. I do wanna quickly bring up battery life. If we go over here, go to our battery to see how we've been doing. Overall, battery life has been okay. You can see that my battery health and maximum capacity is actually 85% now. This is the older M4 iPad Pro. I just haven't found the reason to go with the M5 iPad Pro. But you can see that on a day like Tuesday, I'm using about 60% of my battery. I got 3 hours of screen on time, meaning I can get like 5 hours of screen on time if I'm using it intensely the way that I normally do. But overall, battery life, depending on how I'm using it, ranges. If I'm using it for more task-intensive things, obviously it's gonna diminish more, but if I'm just using it to watch things in Safari, on YouTube, even in Apple TV, I'll get 9 to 10 to 11 hours of battery life on my iPad Pro. But that is everything with iPadOS 26.5. Let's finish up the video and comment down below if you updated. Now that would just about do for this video, everybody. As you saw, there weren't too many changes with iPadOS 26.5. This is normally Apple getting ready for their major release, which is going to be iOS 27 that will be announced at WWDC, which is actually in less than a month, surprisingly enough, which I'm so excited for. Let's see exactly what Apple does with Siri and Gemini and Apple Intelligence, because again, we were told that the 26.4 and 26.5 update, we're going to get some glimpses of what's coming with Gemini and Apple's partnership, but again, it looks like Apple's waiting for iOS 27 to show it all off. But let me know in the comment down below what your favorite feature was of 26.5. Is it anything worth writing home about? Are you upset about the Apple ads and the Apple Map situation? Curious to know your thoughts, but if you did make it to the end, leave a little dolphin, leave a thumbs up for the cool new wallpaper customizer, and I think that's a foreshadow into maybe some new things that are coming from a wallpaper customization standpoint. But if you want to watch more videos like this one, check out one of these videos right here, and if you haven't watched our iOS update version, click on that one next. Peace, everybody.